Welcome to UG Media TV. In today's video, we talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of the British Empire. Please subscribe to my channel, like, share, and don't forget to leave a comment. Few empires have left as significant a mark on history as the British Empire. At its peak in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, it stretched across a quarter of the globe, influencing a vast array of cultures, economies, and societies. The story of the British Empire is complex, filled with ambition, innovation, exploitation, and resistance, showcasing the good, bad, and ugly aspects of its legacy. The British Empire made some notable contributions to global development. One of the most significant positive impacts was the spread of modern infrastructure. Railways, telegraph lines, and roads built during the British colonial period laid the foundation for economic growth in many regions. For instance, India saw the establishment of an extensive railway network that still plays a crucial role in the country's transportation system today. Additionally, the British Empire played a key role in spreading ideas and institutions around the world. English, now a global language, facilitated international communication and commerce. Many colonies adopted British legal and administrative systems, which provided a framework for governance and the rule of law. Educational institutions were established, bringing literacy and learning to previously underserved populations. Trade and industry also flourished under British rule, integrating colonies into the global economy. The establishment of ports and the expansion of maritime trade routes connected distant corners of the world, fostering economic interdependence. Agricultural products like tea, coffee, and rubber, cultivated in colonies, became staples in global markets, driving economic growth both in the colonies and in Britain. However, these advancements came at a significant cost. The British Empire's expansion was driven by economic exploitation and political domination. Colonies were often viewed as resources to be extracted. In India, the British East India Company monopolized trade, drained wealth, and implemented policies that led to severe economic disruptions and famines. The deindustrialization of India's traditional industries, such as textiles, crippled local economies and caused widespread poverty. Cultural imposition and racial hierarchies were other negative aspects of British colonial rule. The British often considered their culture superior, imposing their language, customs, and social norms on colonized peoples. Indigenous cultures and traditions were frequently suppressed or marginalized. In Australia, for instance, the arrival of British settlers led to the dispossession and decimation of Aboriginal communities, whose rich cultural heritage was nearly obliterated. Political repression was commonly used to maintain control. Nationalist movements and uprisings were met with brutal crackdowns. The Jallianwala Bagh massacre of 1919, where British troops killed hundreds of unarmed Indian protesters, exemplified the ruthless methods employed to silence dissent. Such actions sowed deep resentment and resistance among colonized populations. The ugly. The ugliest aspects of the British Empire are perhaps best illustrated by the transatlantic slave trade and the Opium Wars. The British played a central role in the enslavement and transportation of millions of Africans to the Americas. The human suffering and cultural destruction caused by this trade were immeasurable. Enslaved individuals endured inhumane conditions, brutal treatment, and a complete denial of basic human rights. The Opium Wars with China in the mid-19th century further highlighted the empire's willingness to employ immoral means for economic gain. To counteract the trade imbalance caused by Chinese tea exports, the British East India Company began smuggling opium into China. When Chinese authorities sought to end this destructive trade, Britain waged war to protect its opium interests, leading to the imposition of unequal treaties that humiliated and weakened China. The legacy of the British Empire is complex and contentious. On one hand, it left behind infrastructure, education, and legal systems that continue to benefit former colonies. On the other hand, the scars of economic exploitation, cultural suppression, and political repression are still felt today. The empire's history serves as a reminder of both the potential for progress and the capacity for destruction that human societies possess. In the post-colonial era, former British colonies have worked to reclaim their identities, heal from past wounds, and forge independent futures. The story of the British Empire highlights the resilience of these nations and their enduring struggle for justice and self-determination. As we reflect on this history, it is essential to recognize both the good and the bad, and to strive for a world where the mistakes of the past are not repeated. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more educative videos like this. See you on our next video.